City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, I was raised on its edges. My pop worked his life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people, this is city I met all my best friends. And I wanna thank every break, I wanna thank every entrance to every building that I step in this city of mine. I owe you most my best moments in life. See, I fell in love for the first time in Golden Gate Park. I saw my first rap show at Great American Hall. I used to beg my homies for a ride across the bridge to goof off and spend the whole damn day doing whatever we want. Keek drove us down to Ike's place while we'd roll up a blunt, and me and Jack would get stoney, walk around and get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly pay back all I was lucky to get just by walking through the city. No, I'm a small part of this.
City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
I never really had a place to call my own, so I travel and I roam till I find that. But I'm full of adventure, so I wander and I venture, and it's safe to say that really I don't mind that. I book a flight to try to figure where my mind's at, a spot where I don't spend no money, just some time at. I mix and mingle with the people till I learn a little. I brought some weed and baby, maybe we could burn a little. She said you're funny, I said no, I'm David, and I left. Sun shining, birds chirping, let me take a breath. I'm headed to the city where my chance to make it best. What people like to give a little, then you take the rest. I'm hoping one day maybe I can find a place to rest. I fell in love with life and wonder where it take me next. I like the hustle and bustle, I fell in love with the fashion. I feel the pulse of the city, it's moving me like a passion, and it's mine.
How I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine. How I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. Me and my hometown, baby, we go way back. All the situations, circumstances, still we don't mind. Steady going on, I ain't dancing around the street lights. Hey, I know every street sign, hanging around the block like if you are my friend, then you are welcome any moment. Yeah, city of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
Aloha, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, Vietnam. Yes, welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about a couple few things. But before we get twisted, let me say, first of all, thank you for watching. If you happen to watch this on the Replay Squad, don't forget you could always pop in, leave your questions or your comments, and we'll get back to you. We want to make sure that nobody gets left out. And yeah, that's it. We're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about that creator mental health. It seems to be a big conversation because, you know, people are working their way back from being at home for a couple of years to getting into back into the workspace. Some people don't want to go back to that workspace, so they ventured off on their own. So we just want to talk about it real quick because this is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and I thought it'd be a good conversation. So first of all, let me give you a couple of resources. I'm going to pop a link in the chat, and this is for NAMI. All right. Lots and lots of good resources over here. NAMI is the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and I think one of the first things that we have to get into, again, today is going to be a little bit of a deep subject. We're not going to stay here, but I just want to get into it. One of the first things that we have to get into is we have to break the hard stigma around needing to ask someone for help. I'm looking at you fellas. We tend to be worse at it. Us BIPOC people, we tend to be really bad at it. So, yeah, as a content creation coach, especially one that hard charges as much as I do, you need to know that you have resources available, and we just have to learn to be a little bit more stigma free about it. I'm going to pin another one that I actually want to pin this comment up here. Let me click this bad boy because, all right, so you guys know recently we lost a judge, and there's no info yet, but I think we're going to find out, and this is just purely my opinion, I could be wrong. I think we're going to find out that was a suicide situation. Also, remember, sort of after the Bob Saget incident, we started to find out, that too may have been a suicide situation. So I just want to remind everyone, like, if it's getting all too hard, bruh, you can absolutely give yourself permission to take a break. All of this that we do can be a lot. People coming for you in the comments, people coming for you. Sometimes, okay, let's get to, man, I wish Carlos was here today. He could help me out. Sometimes it's not even people coming for you in the comments in the negative way. Strangely enough, sometimes people can just be coming for you because everyone's pulling for your energy, right? Everybody's pulling to get a little bit of your time, and then you become the person that doesn't want to let anyone down, and then you become the person that never really has time for yourself. So, yeah, okay. College just hipped me to something. I have not been in this. It says Naomi was confirmed. You see what I mean? Yeah, the last I heard was the other day, and, there was strong suspicion, but there was no confirmation. So, yeah, so even more sucks, right? Because you think about the timing, like it was literally right before getting a well-deserved honor, It's really weird what we connect our story around mental health or suicide or pressure to. Mine's one is probably different than you would think. Yes, I've, had friends. I've, even had a family member. But the one that actually made me more aware of it than anything was Bradley from Sublime, because I knew of the underground movement of what they were working on. I had seen them perform in California, and being in radio, I knew that they were just about to release the album, which was going to be the song that was going to finally put them on the map. And Bradley Nowell, and after spending a little bit of time in sobriety, celebrating the win, but then, possibly being nervous of that win finally coming, decided to go out and basically chase his demon one more time, and it took his life the day before Sublime blew up. And that was bananas, you know. And if you really want to dig in, go check out, you know, there's a couple stories on YouTube. It's kind of famous, you know, but for some reason that one stuck to me because, like Tom Buck, big, you know, ska person, I, you know, loved their music. They were absolutely incredible. And from the radio person's perspective, we knew that they were about to blow up. So it's kind of crazy. You know, and I don't know, it's just something about that story stuck to me even more than people that I actually know. You know what I mean? So I don't know why, but we always talk about how the teacher will come when the student is ready. And that, for some reason, that story sticks to me. And so since then, you know, having lost friends and realizing that, especially for guys, right? Now, this applies to everyone, but guys in general, we're super, super rough on going to ask somebody for help. You know what I mean? So I think it's super important that as a creator, there can be a lot of pressure to succeed. Okay? So one of the first things that we can do to help ourselves is remember that success is defined by you. All right? Where we get ourselves in trouble is trying to compare ourselves to other folks. You kind of sort of don't really want to do that. And it's hard. It's extremely hard to not look at what someone else is doing and think, oh, I should be doing that. I should have that. I should be getting that, whatever. And it's different for every person, right? So I know that one is probably what gets most people in trouble, is thinking that because somebody that's in your echelon or somebody that's in your space is doing better to you, that somehow that has some merit on you. It just doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It can take some time. So very important to remember that, like, success is up to you. You have to define for yourself what success looks like, and then you work towards that. Also, you have to know your space and your capabilities, and this part becomes the struggle. All right. So you know your bandwidth, you know your space, you know your capabilities. Whether you want to or not, you know what it is. For most people, your bandwidth is probably higher than you give yourself credit for, but it might be lower than the people that are pushing your pace. As a person who spends most of my week pushing other people's pace, I'm aware of these things, but I think it's important that you know the difference between pushing yourself and pushing yourself. I think I need to come up with a better way to say that, but you guys know me, so you know what I'm talking about, right? If someone says to you, okay, I need you to create, actually, let's just try this. Let's try this. I'll speak about it from a creator perspective. All right. We just finished CETA. And for some of us, when you heard CETA was happening and you got to create something every day in the month of April, your juices just started flowing. You was like, yes, I'm in there. Let's do this. Right. Some of you guys froze in a panic as if you were a deer and CETA was a Kenworth. You have to know that's you, right? So immediately, a lot of this comes from just our teaching. A lot of this comes from our understanding of our own self-worth. So a lot of times before you dig into these creative processes, you might want to do a little soul search and dig into, your self-worth a little bit, and then try to have an assessment of where you are mentally as far as your confidence goes or your self-worth goes and things like that. You got to take an inventory. Doctors will help you do that. So then, when someone says to you, hey, I'm going to need you to create something every day for 30 days, you can look at it like, bet, I got that, because you know where you're going to be, right? And then there'll be others that says, yes, I can do that, but I'm going to have to do it a little bit small. I'm trying to figure out an easy way to explain this. Okay, so I'll pick on Kali, right? Because when you notice her and she does her videos, she'll be, doing something with suns and salutations and moons and whatever. And then she'll say, if you got bad knees, do it this way. If you got a bad back, do it this way. If you have to do this, remain seated, here's the modification. Like she's giving people the adjustment level to adjust according to their capability, right? But the challenge as a coach comes from meeting people where they are, but trying to find out if they could actually push a little harder than they think they can. If you could autonomously push harder than you think you can, you probably wouldn't need a coach. But we already figured out a long time ago, everybody needs a coach. The highest performers in the planet have coaches, right? Your Tim Cooks of the world have coaches. There's arrogant folks like Elon probably doesn't have one, but most of your leaders in the world, they have coaches too. So it does become a challenge between pushing someone to do better because the better that they have in them and they're psyching themselves out, and making sure you don't push too hard where you cause it to break. So one of the first things that you could do to help yourself out is tell yourself that you're bendable, where's Tony Jacobs, but unbreakable, right? I'm bendable as all get, but I ain't breakable. Because an understanding of those limits, right? I think the other challenge is sometimes you just have to look at things that are seemingly hard and say, I can do this, I just got to break it down into smaller pieces. And I think a lot of times, because of the comparative analysis, because of the pace, we have a tendency to, okay, let's put it this way. If we were going to just go do a LGL like 2K, I'm going to make it easy. There's people in our midst right now that could damn near sprint that whole thing. Yo, me, Keely, Dina, Gretchen, a couple other ones, we all got metal knees. So we're going to walk that bitch. We'll see you guys when it's at the end. And we'll walk that bitch with a cocktail in our hand. Okay? I know at least I can speak for Dina and myself. We will be on that stroll. We will have our bourbon on the rocks and we'll be walking. And I'll see y'all at the end. And still find a way to enjoy that 2-kilometer stroll. I won't feel like I need to run because Kevin can run. I won't feel like I need to run because Luis can run, but I also know that about a quarter mile in, he'll be sitting on the side catching his breath, and then we'll catch up to him. I'll just hand him a bourbon and we can keep going, right? I won't feel the need to do that, right? I can tell you right now, Paul is going to catch a cab. He's almost 80. So, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Albert's going to be walking with us. So, yeah, that's fine. And knowing where you are, you know, and that mission is perfectly fine. We're all going to get to the end at the same place. We would just take different routes. You know, somebody is going to take the Rosie New York Marathon route, hop in the cab, and get there when they get there. You know, Paul said, oh, he'll just use a motorized scooter. And I think that that's the thing that as creators is hard for us, because we have a tendency to pay attention to what everyone else around us are doing and then start that comparison joint. And that's not it. Like, that just straight up isn't it, right? You can't do that. I just saw Jared's comment, and it's pretty funny. Jared said that I will carry him while he's holding 2 drinks, right? He gonna have one for the plug and one for the load. So, you know what I mean? I think it's important. And here's what's funny, right? A lot of people like to talk about that work-life balance, right? I want to tell you, I don't think there's such a thing. I think life is all work, right? Life is just life. You just got to balance life. It's not about work-life balance, because that's assuming that your work doesn't have any life. That's assuming that they're antithetical. And I don't know, the last time I checked, the antithesis of life is not work. So how do you balance, I don't know, oxygen and dirt? Just, they don't. I don't understand it, right? Maybe I'm just not seeing it right. You know, maybe I'm side on this, but I don't think there is a work-life balance. I think there is just straight up balance. There is life balance in the story, right? So when you set yourself up with a quote unquote impossible task, you then put yourself under pressure to do something that might not have a homeostatic level. So you're fighting something that can't straight happen, right? So, yeah, right. Jared says, me when work is busy, I don't know how I'm going to get all of this done, and sleep is overrated. True. I'm the same way. But you know what's super funny? I'm going to say this for all of us, especially those of us of the party ilk, have done the exact same thing on vacation, steady mobbing, straight clowning for a week on end. Cancun, spring break. My Daytona game was like 22 hours a day, party and BS, as Biggie say. So it's kind of funny how, I know me personally, I can speak for most of us, especially kids of the 80s that went through the party levels, have had days where we have partied just as hard on our bodies as we would of in the work thing. But the mental concept of doing it at work makes it seem different versus the mental concept of doing it as fun. So if you can adjust that mental concept, you can adjust reality to whatever works for you, right? You can make a reality out of just about anything. And unfortunately, this is where we're at right now, because some people are making reality out of stuff that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So here's what we have to do. First of all, you have to know First of all, you have to know that it is absolutely okay to not be okay. Let's start there. Because in Mental Health Awareness Month, the key element in that sentence is awareness. Okay? We have to stop the stigma. We have to say it doesn't make us weak because we need to ask somebody for help. And sometimes you're at a brick wall, you're about to explode. You have a single conversation with a single person, and sometimes that person doesn't tell you anything. You just go blah, and you just like stress vomit all over them. Let it all out. Say all the bad words. Call all of the, requisite people names, and then breathe. And then you're good. And then you're back to normal. Like sometimes all it is, you just need to find a friend and vent. Right? But now we got good resources. We got like BetterHelp. We have lots of, BetterHelp is the one I just remember because it's in all the podcasts. But we have lots of resources. So I'll put the NAMI resource in there, and then I'll pop it in there again for anybody that's, catching this on the replay and didn't see the first one. Yeah, like you really just have to know that you have options. You can take some time. Now, say you're not that far where you need help yet. What can you do? First of all, breathe. Apple Watch will help you. You can go on YouTube. You can hit up Kali and be like, look, I need a session. I need a guided meditation session. Sometimes just sitting there for a second and breathing will help you. For many of us, right, you can just sit in your chair and then put on Norah Jones and just breathe it out for the length of a song. Right? Some of us could play a little Teddy Pendergrass or, listen to some Acoustic Alchemy, some George Benson. Like, yeah, George Benson, that'll do it for you. Just like, for me, it's Marley. Like, if I need to just chillax, I can pop in a chair, get on some One Love, One Heart, let's get together and be all right. Let's everybody. See, like instantly. Look, I just happen to be rocking this shirt today. Like for me, I can just sit in the chair when it's one of them days and just put on some Marley. Because I'm putting on Marley, there's other things that, have to go with said ritual. And then I'm good. Hour later, me, Marley, slightly burnt thing, we're square. I'm good. I'm ready to go again. So you have to, don't be afraid to take that time. And even in the times when you say you don't have no time, just stop, fill up the freaking tub and sit in it for 15 minutes. It turns out one of the fastest things that you can do to lower that vibration when your vibration is going a little nuts. I don't like to use the word stress because people overuse that word and it becomes an excuse. And yeah, that's where I fight with people because I can normally tell, most people besides you can normally tell when you got a little gas in you, but you're stopping yourself. And you have to be better at that. You have to be knowing the difference between running the tank empty and kind of chilling on cruise control. Like, the difference and what's real. And yeah, that's where the awareness comes from. You have to have a better understanding of what that is. And if you don't know what that is, it's time to take this month to study that. Okay? It's time to take this month, talk to someone, call one of these BetterHelp joints. There's local free ones in your neighborhood. Try to find where your wall is and learn the difference between climbing the wall or standing at the base and looking up. And once you can get a better head around that, you'll normally are going to be in a better headspace. But it turns out closing your eyes and just breathing for 5 minutes is a dope way. Something about closing your eyes allows your imagination to do what it does. Just, you don't have to go to sleep or anything. You just close your eyes and just take deep breaths, because when you oxygenate, it basically refreshes the brain. Close your eyes, take deep breaths. I like to do it with a little music. You can do it in silence. My favorite situation is the Calm app. I've been using the Calm app since it came out. I did Headspace for a little while. I like Calm better, but you just got to remember to take those times, right? Yeah, that's it. It's just one of those things that we have to do. And I have found recently, even with my crusty knees, sometimes I'm fighting something in Final Cut, or somebody in the community just lost it and I need a second. I could just leave the office and do a lap around the block, come back, I'm square. So sometimes you just got to look at that. I always look at people that are in the worst situation than me, and then look at ones doing better. It gives you 100%. I used to say that. I don't know if it's mean or not, so Spots, I'm with you. But I used to say that sometimes when you're feeling a little rough about yourself, go look at somebody that has it worse than you, and then respect your game, respect where you're at. Oh, he said Vince Garibaldi vinyl for me. Breathe by James Nestor is an excellent book. Listen to the Audible. There you go. Breathing exercises is very important. That's why, the Apple Watch alone, when my heart rate starts doing whatever, like the watch would just automatically kick on and be like, hey, fam, you need to breathe. Actually, listen to Vinny. Vinny would tell you how to bring it down a notch. He has tons of videos, tons of information on how to bring it down a notch. So it's funny that Vinny comes right now, because you can just go to his channel, Stressed Out, Stress Free, and just the sound of Vince's voice alone will bring you off the ledge, because his voice is very calming. But during Vlogmas, Vinny was just taking walks and just talk with you while you're taking a walk. That's good. I could do that right now. I think one thing that's cool with our group, we have each other, right? So I could literally just pop up a FaceTime and take a walk around the block, and then, FaceTime somebody in the community and just clown for a minute and feel better. So we do have that. We have that. Jared, if you get in too many of those notifications, player, that means you need to take a second to breathe. It's funny. Jared, it's funny you say that. I have gotten them out on the shoot, and then, just told everybody, take 5 while I change the battery, and literally just walk back to my truck, and then okay, I'm about to hurt this director. Producer does not know what they're doing. Why they hired their nephew to be the actor. Okay, you got this. Take a breath. Woo-sa, and then go back. I've dealt, especially in weddings. And everybody's a little, busy. So sometimes I tell everybody, all right, everybody take 5, and act like I got to change a battery or change a chip or something. And it's literally just a second for me not to want to, get Groomzilla. So yeah, it's harder when you're in a fast-paced shooting environment, because it does get a little bit nuts. Oh, you know what, Mel, you reminded me of something. I don't know if this is still available, but Jeff Bridges used to have a thing that he put together with Squarespace. That was really good. It's actually called Dreaming with Jeff. This is very good. Let me pop this over here. Come on, Universal Control, get over there. I think I have one too many monitors for my Universal Control situation. It's kind of funny. Nope, wrong one. Come on, Doc, where you at? La 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 la. There it is. This is actually pretty cool. It's called Dreaming with Jeff. And even if you're not ready to take a nap, it's made by Squarespace and Jeff Bridges. He just comes in here and gives you the Dude Lebowski talk. And I have completely listened to these. These are good. This is old. He made this back in like 2015 or something, but it's very, very good. So take a look at this. And the other one that I talked about for you guys, which I tend to like, is this. I've actually spoken with Kali, and I know that she might be doing this. She is going to be possibly making some breathing exercises and stuff on her channel over the next month. She already has some already there, actually, but yeah, it's just a thing. Like, I used to be a total person that would foo-foo breathing and meditating or whatever, and then once I did it, I was like, oh, this is glorious. It's actually very good. Very good. Good book will do it for you. You know, reading a good book, reading a good audio book or whatever will do it for you. My favorite thing about Calm is listening to people read the stories for you. But yeah, Miss Eileen said the same thing. So I can go ahead and open it up for questions now, or if you guys have some strategies that you use to keep your, you know, your mental fitness in the game, let's talk about it, because I think it's very important. Sometimes you just got to let it out. You know, I found that writing helps, keeping a journal helps. Just sit down and let your pen move for 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be spelt correct or proper grammar or whatever. Just write. Just pen and paper, just write it out, 5 minutes, just let it scrib. Especially some of those rants where you're about to like lose it on somebody. Sometimes it's just good to just write down what you're feeling. And you could smash it up and burn it, or you can just leave it in there. I like to go back and look at the journals to see what I was tripping on months ago. But yeah, you just got to respect your gangster. Give yourself some space. Give yourself some room to breathe. And yeah, it'll just make life better. Yes, John said spelling and grammar never counts in your journal. Hold up. What, Ali? Eileen said she's meditated with Calm for the past 1,924 consecutive days. Yes. Oh, girlfriend. That's credible. John said, therapy helped me ditch the booze and find a new creative balance in my life. I can't say enough good about it. There you go. There you go. Man, congratulations, John. I know that it's definitely a harder one. Listening to the story is why my audience come back every night. They come for something to wind down to and chill. Yeah. Yes. Kali said, yes, breathe it out 30 days, 5 minutes starts this month. Thank you, Doc. Okay, so make sure if you're not already twisting your chocolate yogas, you do that, because Kali will put this out, and I think Calm is great. Favorite app, love it, but I also like to support my homies, right? So post office, 1 second. Talk amongst yourself. Yo, you guys ever have the post office call you and apologize that a package is taking too long? But it's going to get here today, so it's been like 19 days. The person shipped it by boat. That's funny. That's when mainland people don't understand geography and think Hawaii is a different country. Anyway, come over here to the Twist of Chocolate Yogs Let me see. Did Paul put the link? No, he did not. This guy's fired. Mr. Hoveround. CTY. Okay, I put it in there. Let me go back to where I was in the comments so I can find you folks. So yes, Carly has some cool stuff in here. And look, she got like relax and release. She got conversations about self-care. So yeah, just come in here and do this. Hit the wind down. Hit the rest. Some of these, I see the thumbnail and the pose looks like I'm going to be dead, but she gives you ways to do it if you can't like go on the ground. Because if I did the one right here in this rest, if I did that, I would still be there. And y'all would be watching me live stream from the flow. Real Thug stream live from the flow, So yeah, just come over here, check it out, and make sure you're paying attention to what the little twister is doing. And yeah, so cool. If you want a good Mother's Day gift too, she's making a special thing for your mama. So there's that. Let's see what you folks are saying. Speaking of calm, if you have health insurance, make sure to check. You might get it for free. Really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Oh, I should check because, I got good health insurance. So I didn't even know that, Kevin. Wow. Today I was this many years old when I say that. Miss Eileen, because I was like, where in the insert Eileen would hate me for saying this word is my package. You're on point, reinforcing my speech cognitive therapy session this morning. Yes. Get out of your head, write some things down. Yo, your brain was not designed to store that kind of stuff. It just wasn't. Why is everybody coming for me? Because I get my post office. It all starts upstairs. Without a better connection to mind and my mental health, I would not be able to go on a diet. 1,172 days be sober. I was going to say 10,000. 1,069 days and not gamble for 751. John, congratulations, fam. It definitely takes some work. I can just tell you. I've had a hard time sticking with meditation and journaling, but I noticed that physical activities help me a lot. 5K run can really change the mood and it helps get ready for the day. When I was before my knee surgery and I was riding my bike a lot, that would be the one for me. And what was so like good for me is I would leave the house. Like that time I didn't sleep good, right? Like I had really bad insomnia. I've somewhat gotten over it because I work with y'all all the time and y'all tired me out. No, just getting better in my head. I've been able to quell my insomnia a lot. But what I would do is jump on my bike at like 9-10 o'clock at night and just ride when the roads are a little bit more empty, ride in the middle of the road and just get that cooling sensation of flying. So for me, riding my bike was it. But yeah, definitely physical activity actually does help you a lot. And I know a lot of people say they don't have time for, the gym or whatever. You don't even have to do it in the gym. You can do it in the house. Seriously, that little quick exercise will get it out, which is the reason why if you watch the movie Gung Ho, and this is not even a joke, this is legit. If you watch the movie Gung Ho, what's his face? Michael Keaton, he was at the car factory in Japan and how they would just stop in the middle of work and do exercise. They do exercise every morning in Japan as a team, right? RADIO TAISO, Radio Daiso. They have these online. But literally companies will get together and it's this kind of team building, no joke, but people get together in the morning and they do just like all the exercise together, right? And it's a big thing. In small towns like this, like everybody would just meet at the park. And it's not just the old people there. It's like everybody will meet at a park at a certain time and just do their stuff. A lot of companies and factories and stuff, they do it on the factory floor. It comes on the radio every day, but this is a sort of Taiso right here. Hopefully this stays muted. You'll see people are probably making fun, but yeah, companies will do this every morning, just do a quick little exercise because it gets the juices flowing, right? And it's funny because Americans look at this and make fun of it, but having lived there, it's a thing. Like, it's a thing. It's also why those of us of a certain vintage, we did this in school, right? We got to school in the morning, you pledge allegiance to the flag, and then you did a quick little calisthenics, and then you studied. And we stopped doing it because I need my freedom. We stopped doing it because we saw videos of communist countries doing it. That's why we stopped doing it. And it's actually good for your brain. It has nothing to do with your politics or whatever. It's actually straight good for you. And we stopped doing it because we saw communist countries doing it and just thought that would lead to communism. That's basically why we stopped doing it. It's kind of funny, but just figured out that that free calm about 6 months ago. Boom. I have a crew of creators. Yes. Actually, Rob, good thing. Build yourself a pod like dolphins, right? You need a good pod of homies around you that you can just say anything, do anything to. Luis, Diana, and I, India, Diana, and I, my brother, Linwell, we all talk all the time. I got my Jedi Council, me, Keith, Alicio, Marshall, Kirk, right, Bradley, and we all help each other out, just things like that. So, yeah, build yourself a little pod of folks that you can talk to. Get a dog. Dog will help. Right? Gretchen remembers morning calisthenics. Yeah, it's funny. Like, we just stopped doing that, and it was really, really good. It was really good. You did exercises at school. See, it's funny, but I swear to you, I probably couldn't find a fact that says it's it. But I'm telling you, man, I think we stopped it once people started seeing videos of other places doing it. Somewhere between China, Russia, and North Korea, they saw everybody group exercises and they stopped it. I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure that's the case, man. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let me just check to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Yes, bike riding used to be the relaxing thing. Hey, man, Peloton, I mean, they're kind of going out of business, but just about a cheap one from Costco is about $500. You can do the same thing. Kevin is listening from school. Yeah, so guys, if you can find a way to just actually one more that I should touch on real quick, because Keely has been pushing this a lot in our Discord, and it's something that everybody should kind of get into in the beginning while you're trying to figure this thing out, is in our co-working slot up in the Discord. She'll pop on a Pomodoro session. And I used to do this a lot when I was doing web pages. I used to do 45-10 Pomodoro sessions. So it's basically the tomato technique, right? So this is like, this person is doing 4 25-minute sessions with a break in a minute to get 2 hours. This person is doing the 25 and 5. It's probably the most common one. This person is doing the 45-15. But if you're by yourself and you're not co-working with us, I don't know what your problem is, but we be in there. But yeah, you just pop on one of these joints. Like, here's a good one because they got a little clock and everything. I used to actually use an app from the App Store called Pomodoro, and it would kind of like let you do this. But these guys are going to have some graphics on the screen. Let's jump in. And you just do focus work, And when this thing is over, you're going to get to the break session. Let's see where we're going to find the break session. It should be right about break. Then you're going to go on a break, right? And then you're going to come back after that break is over. Boom, break time's over. Sorry, Leo. You come back, you know. So there's ways to give yourself, because I know me, and Jared's probably the same way. Us creative types, like if we're editing, we're in that Final Cut. Oh, I'm over here showing you something that's not showing you something. We have definitely be in that Final Cut thing and be sitting in that chair for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours without getting up, and that's bad. So that's why, again, Apple Watch will tell you to stand up like at the end of 50 minutes. On the 50 minutes, it tells you to stand up so you can break it. But basically, this one right here is like, you know, your work session and then your break session. It just goes all the way through. And yeah, set yourself up, you know. Set yourself up for success. There's tools out there, people. You don't have to do this by your lonesome anymore. So let's take some time. Do you have the time to listen to me? Oh, there is a bot for the Discord called Sensei Dodo. Nice. Yes. All right, gang. That's it for today. I just wanted to make sure that everybody remembers it's okay to not be okay. Take some moment to decompress, right? Yes, I am always still going to yell at you to work more than you think you can, because most of us need to hear somebody tell us to do stuff that we don't think we can do, because we are trained to protect ourselves. So oftentimes we've overtrained that and we overprotect ourselves, and then we get stuck in these ruts and nothing happens. But the whole goal of a mental awareness type month is to get better at knowing your limits instead of taking the assumptive limits that someone else gave you, working off of limits that you gave yourself because you watched someone else, or random arbitrary numbers that don't mean nothing because at one point in time society thought they meant something. You have to challenge these things. And through challenging them, testing, experimentation, you will find your actual limits, right? So it's like lab results, real world results, right? Sometimes the lab results will be different from the real world results. So you got to test your own limits. But when you are given a challenge, instead of going straight to the negative, I can't do that, be like, I'm going to try. I might quite possibly fail. I'm absolutely cool with failing my way through this, because no matter what, I'll learn something, because the action is always better than the no action. Well, for the most part. And know that you're just giving yourself space to be okay with not being okay. All of the above are very, very important lessons for today. And don't forget, if you need some help, check out NAMI, right? The National Alliance on Mental Illness. And then also, if you're having any kind of problems where you feel like you need to talk to somebody, do it. Like, do it. I lost way too many friends in the last couple of years because we're guys feel like they're going to lose thug points if they need to talk to somebody. That's can't do that. You really got to, just be aware of that. And be cognizant of the people around you. Like if you see somebody that looks like they're having a little bit of a thing, be a lean on. Be like, yo, you want to go out? You want to go grab a coffee? You want to, take a walk with me? Whatever. Take a walk through the country. That's a Hawaii song. You guys will know that one. Yeah, just do that. So today I'm fitting to go stand at the beach for like 15 minutes and then come back. Just stare at the water. Just take a moment. Anyway, gang, absolutely love you. Nice, not yelling, Doc. We'll go back in the box. And I'll be back screaming soon. But I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I'm glad that everybody at least took a moment to have this session. You know what I'm saying? Have this session. Yeah. If you find anything helpful you think will help out people with the mental health process, we do have a resource channel inside the Discord community. So pop them in there, and then I will see you guys on Saturday. There'll probably be a couple random lives this week. So if your notifications are on, you might see a couple random lives this week because I'll be testing some stuff out, moving things around. Oi. I got to set up my new camera. I decided I don't like my A7 IV being stuck to this stand. It needs to come off because one of my stress relievers is taking photos. So I'm going to pack up the old Shimoda bag and take my A7 IV and go outside because we can now. There you go. Wait, I lost all you guys in the comments. Where'd it go? Da-da-da. Okay, here we go. Peace out. Love you folks. Mahalo.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city